Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, the chances of Yemi Osinbajo being the Nigerian vice president till the end of the Malam Buhari tenure is pretty slim really if you look at all of the body language of that presidency and all of the vultures that have been circling around this guy for the past 3-4 years. So the chances of him running the full tenure with Malam Buhari is fairly remote. And with that guys, I bring you this. Fayemi plotting to replace Osinbajo become APC vice president candidate in 2023. So this is a PDP group alleging this, so you can take that in that context and with a grain of salt, because of course this is an allegation by the opposition party. So again, the headline: Fayemi plotting to replace Osinbajo become APC VP candidate in 2023. So now this is a thing being highlighted by the PDP, so let's now see exactly what's been said here. The Ekiti State chapter of the People's Democratic Party National New Media Group, PDP NNMG, has cancelled Governor Kayode Fayemi to face his government instead of plotting against the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the All Progressive Congress National Chairman Adams Oshiomhole. The group noted in a statement on Monday that in the last 6 months, it is either Fayemi is in Abuja, Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, or outside of the country. His plot is either to replace Professor Osinbajo as vice president or clinch the APC presidential or vice presidential ticket in 2023, it claimed, reacting to reports that Fayemi was mentioned as the arrowhead of the APC governors plotting to remove Oshiomhole. PDP NNMG, in a statement signed by Bola Agboola, stated that time had come for Ekiti people to tell Fayemi that he was not made governor to be pursuing Osinbajo or Oshiomhole. Whilst noting that there was nothing wrong in anyone being ambitious, the PDP NNMG said the ambition of a man must not be at the expense of the people he is supposed to govern. Since Fayemi was imposed on the people of Ekiti State by the powers that be, nothing has been done in the state apart from the sack of over 3,000 workers and imposition of exorbitant taxes on the people. The other time that 2 students of the Federal University of Oye Ekiti, FUOYE, were shot dead by security men in the entourage of Governor Fayemi's wife, it took the governor 6 clear days to speak on the gruesome murder, and up till now, the killer policemen are yet to be brought to book. Also, when the Ureje Bridge in Ado Ekiti collapsed, cutting off thousands of Ekiti people from having access to the state capital, Governor Fayemi has never been seen. Instead of being seen in Ekiti where he is governor, Fayemi is busy plotting against his party chairman and at the same time lobbying to be made vice president in the event that Professor Yemi Osinbajo is removed, the statement added. So this is now this guy now, Yemi Osinbajo, again under yet another curse. So this guy, there is just like they're after him from all 4 corners. The Malamis are after him, no doubt about that. This Abba Kyari is especially after him because Abba Kyari considers himself to be the vice president of Nigeria, so he needs to put Yemi Osinbajo in his place so that he doesn't have to worry about Yemi Osinbajo. So he either beats Yemi Osinbajo to the ground, so he removes his mojo completely, it completely emasculates him, so that he's then just like a pretty boy sitting in the office whilst Abba Kyari carries on with the duty of the vice president. He either does that or he has him removed completely and replaced with somebody else. So this is the calculation also being done in Ekiti now, because Ekiti is now, and by Ekiti I'm speaking of course of Fayemi, who is a calculator, is actually his PhD was in war studies, I think. So this is a Machiavellian type of person. So he is now doing the calculations of course himself in his seat in Ekiti, thinking and looking and being of the thought that look, this guy now is under the cosh and they don't really want him there, or they want to emasculate him. So if they emasculate him, fair enough, they can continue to use him as a puppet, because now it has just been demasculated, it's been emasculated, and it's been unmanned. So if they manage to unman Yemi Osinbajo, then fair enough. But if they do not manage to unman him, if Yemi Osinbajo suddenly finds enough of a mojo to fight these people back, to the point that these people choose to replace him or to remove him, then obviously this Fayemi character is positioning himself as the prime candidate. Of course, we know that Pastor Bakare is already celebrating that his turn is about to come, and is digging up old predictions or whatever it is. What do they call it? Is it saying or verdict? What is it these pastors do? Is it predictions? Whatever it is that they do, is digging it up that, look, this is his prediction from all those years back that he will one day rule Nigeria, and it's about to come to pass. You remember he made all that noise a few months ago. So he is circling. But Kayode Fayemi is strategizing. So he is strategizing and positioning himself in Kano, Katsina, and of course abroad, and then in his state as well. He doesn't really spend that much time in Ekiti. He's just using that Ekiti governor thing as really a calling card, as sort of like a name for himself. He doesn't really care about the people of Ekiti. He doesn't, you know, it's not that he doesn't care, but he feels that he has a greater calling than Ekiti state, and he will just put some people in place that, look, run this place according to XYZ. This is the plan. You carry on with it, because I need to busy myself with other things. And those other things, of course, that he's busying himself with is eyeing up the post and the position of Yemi Osinbajo. So that vulture especially is circling. So this is now the second vulture now that is circling round Yemi Osinbajo now, because Abba Kyari, of course, is already a vulture that has already have eaten his body. But this new vulture now, well, not really a new vulture, this undertone vulture, who is coming in by stealth, disguised, you know, now you see it, now you do, I'm your friend, I am not, you know, this kind of stealthy kind of way that Kayode Fayemi is now coming at it. He is now also positioning himself as a real possibility for a possible replacement of Yemi Osinbajo, if of course they either choose to get rid of him, or even Yemi decides to resign, because there's a real possibility that he might choose to resign, because I don't think a man like Yemi Osinbajo is built for that sort of world that goes on in Aso Rock. He's a real high-end man kill man, survival of the fittest, and I think Yemi Osinbajo is more built for the lecture rooms in Unilag or UI or wherever than in high politics. This is not really somebody built for politics. He's too civilized, he's too educated, he's too polite, and he's too humane. So he is not somebody for politics. So he might well then form that thought with especially from pressure from his mother, etc. Because of course you also how his mother reacted when his helicopter was continuously dropping from the skies. So Yemi Osinbajo might well choose to resign that position, and that is a real possibility as well. So whatever happens, that position of vice president might well be up for grabs. And if that position of vice president is up for grabs, then really it's a battle, it's a race between now Kayode Fayemi, Tunde Bakare, and Abba Kyari. Now, Abba Kyari cannot really go for that post, because of course then you would have a Malami president and then another Malami vice president, when the country is already groaning under the heavy weight of this Malami. So you cannot have that. So Abba Kyari, yes, he would have an interest. He's in the running as well, but he's running covertly, not overtly. He can't run frontally to present himself as a name, but he will select and appoint a candidate. So effectively, the two brides now that Abba Kyari is looking at as people that he can manipulate would be Kayode Fayemi, Tunde Bakare, or leave the situation as it is. So if you now look at all of the contenders, I do not think that Abba Kyari has any capacity on God's own earth to control somebody like Babatunde Bakare or Tunde Bakare. I don't know if it's Babatunde or not, but I don't think that Abba Kyari has any capacity on God's earth to control somebody like Tunde Bakare. It is beyond the realms of his capacity. They said this guy went to Oxford or wherever, or Harvard. Even all the trainings that they would have given him in Oxford or Harvard is not enough to control somebody like Tunde Bakare, because Tunde Bakare is a different entity from Yemi Osinbajo completely. Tunde Bakare is a beast. But then I don't also think that Abba Kyari has the cranial capacity, the mental functioning to control somebody like Kayode Fayemi, because Kayode Fayemi is a fox, is a wily man, is an intelligent man, is a cold and calculating man. Kayode Fayemi is more cold and calculating than Abba Kyari or even Malam Buhari. So he doesn't have that capacity, and he doesn't know the reach of Kayode Fayemi's mind, because Kayode Fayemi is one of those people who hide behind several layers of personality to hide who the real person is. So he cannot, almost beyond impossible, handle somebody like Kayode Fayemi. So Kayode Fayemi he cannot handle. Tunde Bakare he cannot handle. But then Yemi Osinbajo, he can handle easily, because we all see how he beats Yemi Osinbajo down every day, and the guy is always on his knees, rolling on the floor and doing rankadede. So the calculation now is, do you then leave Yemi Osinbajo in situ, or do you get Kayode Fayemi or Tunde Bakare? But then Yemi Osinbajo, of course, the Malamis consider to be a Tinubu agent, and they do not trust Tinubu. So this is the intrigue now, and this is the gameplay that is going on. But come back to your seat and govern Ekiti State is really what the PDP party is saying to this character, that he haven't now been rigged into office, because of course we all know that Fayemi was rigged into Ekiti State. The most militarized election that they've ever had in Nigeria is effectively what happened in Ekiti State. What happened in Ekiti State. I think perhaps this Kogi State one would have rivaled it, but I don't think the Kogi State one was as militarized as the one that we saw in Ekiti State, because in Ekiti State it was almost 1-for-1, a voter, a soldier. This is how they completely just circled around that place and surrounded it, and there's plenty of money as well. So if you were not bought, then you were beaten. It's effectively how that Fayemi got into government. So having now gotten into that governor house in Ekiti State, now sit down there and do some work, because you cannot have your wife rolling around all the universities intimidating and agents, security, just taking down 3-4 students, 5-6 students without any repercussions. We don't really want this sort of thing, having now fought so hard to get that seat. But of course this is whistling in the wind by the PDP, because Fayemi, as ever, because this is an egomaniac, you have to understand. This is somebody that is very Machiavellian in his thinking, and is very insular as well. Is very self-assured as well as self-centered, and he thinks of himself in the highest of esteems. So he thinks of himself really as being greater than however it is that he is great. So this is somebody that has a greater calling in his own mind than Ekiti State, and Ekiti State is just a calling card. So now this now intrigue is now playing out now. The Ekiti State people are saying, you've rigged yourself in, come and govern. Fayemi is calculating that, look, Osinbajo is under trouble, and I can either slide in now, slide in next. And by the way, his visits, this is just, I'm just rounding off now, but there's another layer to this narrative which you need to be aware of. Because of course you look at the places that they said he spends a lot of his time in. He spends a lot of his time in Abuja, in Kaduna, in Kano, and in Katsina. So now Abuja, of course, is the seat of power, so that's self-explanatory. So the Katsina, of course, we all know Katsina has only one name, and that name, of course, is Aso Rock. So that also, you already know why he's going to Katsina. Now he's going to Kaduna because he's now playing this two-pronged game, which is effectively what this article is narrating to us. He's playing the game for actually he's playing a three-pronged game. He's playing the game for Yemi Osinbajo's position. That's one. He's also playing the game for Yoruba presidency 2023. That's two. So he's playing against Tinubu on that front, and then he's now also playing then the game of El Rufai, because he's of course going to Kaduna. So he's playing two games. This guy is actually playing three games. The Osinbajo game we've already discussed, but his two key games really are for 2023, and he's positioning himself so that if the presidency does come to the southwest, he gets first run, and then he will ask El Rufai to be his vice. And if El Rufai is able to subdue what is his name, Tinubu, if El Rufai is able to subdue Tinubu, then he would then be the vice of El Rufai. So you now see all of the games that this Fayemi is playing, and you can then see, of course, then why he has no time for Ekiti State, really, because there's nothing of interest, nothing of value going on for him in Ekiti State, other than having that calling card of being able to call himself the Ekiti State governor. Conversations in the comment section. I fleshed it all out to my understanding. How you understand it, come let me know about it in the comment section. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me what you are making of these machinations, Machiavellian interplay. Now you see it, now you do. All these abracadabra tricks going on in the Nigerian space. Come tell me what you are making of all that. So click on subscribe, bell button, then come to the comment section. Let's have a chat about all this. So I'll leave you here, carry on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.